So we are recording. Go ahead, take it away.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session about self-mastery. This is a topic that I would like to present to you. Actually, it is something that I read about and practiced a lot of years. And I found this also in the Agile Wheel, where they said that at the heart of each great coaching, there is this self-mastery. So you can practice all the other stuff like serving, coaching, facilitating, but actually you should start with yourself first. And there is a beautiful image that an artist presented. We are all familiar with being sympathetic to someone. If we see someone in a bad situation, we can relate to this person and say, oh, poor guy, he's in the water. Then the next step would be empathy, where you would be together with this poor guy in the water together, being wet and saying, yeah, I know how you feel. It is really wet. The water is cold. And then the next step would be compassion, where you actually have been in the water yourself. You know how cold it is. You don't need to go back again and be with that person in the water, but you also went out of this. You know how to get out of it, and you can offer guidance and be a mentor for this person in the water. And this is all about first understanding who you are, and then you can be actually the best version of yourself. And there are many people who work about this. It is something that we should all, this is a lifelong journey, and we all should do this to understand how we take, if we have fears, how to master them, what drives us, what triggers us. This is something that we should understand ourselves. And there was Maslow. I guess you all know the Maslow pyramid of needs. He already started with saying that first we need our psychological safety, and then at some point we will have the self-actualization. And then we have an Asian approach where they said a being you can divide in many parts, and they start with career, life path, partnerships, and so on. Then you would earn money, you would gain knowledge, and at some point when you're old enough, you have your reputation, and so on. So there is an Indian approach where they divided a human being also in different parts and said the explanation the same as Maslow did, just another visualization. Here again, it is said that at the heart level, we have a transformation where we actually try to understand others. When we have enough, we earn enough, we have safety, we have safe relationships. At some point, we will try to be a better version of ourselves. And in this pyramid, I would like to show you and also give practical guidance. We can talk about this, beginning from partial or no self-awareness to actually full self-awareness and total transformation. In those steps, you actually explore yourself. You find a lot of stuff that you don't want to know about. You understand that you cannot play the blame game and blame your parents, your partners, whoever, your past to who you are, but you actually take responsibility for who you are. You begin to accept yourself, and in this time you transform. You then become a better version of yourself. So as this is an UnConference, and I understood that the participant decide in which direction it will go, I am quite I'm okay with whatever direction it goes. So this is about self-mastery and some practical approaches to how to get there. Is there from the participants anyone that would like to say and how you'd like? I also can go through the slides first if you like. Any?
I'm thinking one thing, Julia. Usually, as you look at this pyramid, is it also somehow connected to which age you are at? That usually no. So it can be different from completely different and independent of age.
Well, yes, because you do not say that this is how you feel. You can be 90 and you still behave like a child, and you can be quite young and have meaningful conversations. So that's why I would not relate. I cannot tell that. Although the topic, I have a lot of acquaintances that are in 70s that would like to talk about this topic and less teenagers. Yes, but.
And what happens when you reach total self-awareness? Do you reach some kind of nirvana or something else?
It depends. For those people that I witnessed, they are just normal people, and they are just peaceful with who they are. They are not running. They're just normal people. You would never guess this. But they're totally aware. They're just great people with great characters. And this is also what we are aiming for. Also, it's a job when you're dealing with people that you also transform companies with your presence. And there is less ego. You operate on a different level, and people just also want to be a better self. And also the conferences or the meetings, they have another quality to it. And you just have when I talk to people, then they have this bonding, this understanding. They don't want to fight. They just want to get an agreement that all benefit.
I turned on my camera. I am interested in seeing the whole presentation. So if you would like to go through it, I would like to see it. But I wanted to mention something because you brought up the word ego. And I think that's a crucial word for our type of role, because the way I see it, our role is to allow others to succeed. And that's pretty hard to do when you're kind of self-focused. You know, a lot of times when you're a coach, you need to kind of vacate yourself and let the other person take the main stage. And when you're kind of self-dealing and self-centered, that's kind of tough to do. So I noticed for myself that my job is much easier and much smoother to do, the less ego I managed to bring to the table. So that's how I kind of related to what you said. I don't know if that's what you had in mind also.
But if I go, I then go to the presentation, and I will then again, when I am at the special slide that I would like to ask, then I will go back to what you just said about the ego, because it will relate. I'm presenting, right? So I guess you all are familiar with Daniel Coleman. He talks a lot about, or his books about emotional intelligence, and I like them quite well. And this is what he says, that the keystone is to emotional intelligence is self-awareness. And this is quite crucial also in the relationship. So this is his diagram, how he sees this. When we operate with other people, we need social skills and empathy. But when we are like with ourselves, we need our self-regulation. self-awareness. Again, we need to understand ourselves. We need to be aware of our strengths, limits, and so on. But then also motivation. It is on us, our drive, our commitment, whatever we're doing. There is this diagram about self-awareness. We can be in the first stage. Usually we are the seekers. We don't know anything about ourselves, and also we have no external self-awareness. This is where we actually, at the young age, we would be, like a teenager, would not know anything about themselves and would also not really have any external or not so much external awareness. And then the pleasers is the place where I still don't know who I am, but my parents tell me I should do this, and then I listen to my parents because this is like external self-awareness, and this is where I would just want to please them and do what they tell me. If I have high internal self-awareness, those are the introspectors that actually read a lot. Maybe they do introspection, they evaluate themselves, but they don't have much feedback from outside. And this is where we all want to go, that we know about ourselves, but also our environment gives us feedback, and we also know how others see us, and this reflects in being aware. Being aware also means that we know and that our emotions affect us. We know that when we worry, it also shows on the outside. When we're happy, it shows on the outside. We can be in the same situation when we can have a lot of problems at work, but for example, we are in love. The same situations at work will not bother us at all. Although this is the same situation, this is how we perceive and everything. And again, we are what we think. And most of us are not even aware, and they don't know what we think. We have all the time conversation in our head. For example, if I do something and a mistake, I would say to myself in the brain, oh, you're so stupid, again, the same mistake. And this is so automatic that I am not even aware that I'm doing it. And this is where I would go to what Troy said. We have only 10% where we are actually aware. And this is also where the ego part would be. Ego would be more in this aware part as well. But a lot of stuff is subconscious, and this is also like where intuition comes, would be placed too. Also all our habits and so on. And this is where this part, those 90% that are subconscious, this is where we need to explore and where we need to get familiar with. And the 10%, this is what we are already dealing with. To go again, what Roy said about ego and not ego. Sometimes the ego voice is much louder than the intuition, and it may be very, very slow, or the voice is not so conscious, and we may not hear it. For example, I may, like a very little example, it's sunny outside and I have a voice is telling me, get the umbrella. And my ego would say, excuse me, it's sunny outside, I will not get an umbrella. And then an hour later, I would have needed an umbrella. But yes, this is the thing where now I am not questioning anymore. I just grab the umbrella and go outside. I am not discussing with my mind why I need an umbrella when the sun is outside. So this is something that we can train actually our mind. What also comes in mind where we could be more aware of that all people that we are dealing with and also ourselves, we all have emotional baggage with us that we carry. It means if I talk to someone, if I talk to you, Roy, I need to be aware that I may trigger you, even if I say something totally easy, but I may trigger you with what I said or with my action. And on the vice versa is the same. We all know people from their behavior. We know what they like to eat and so on, how they dress. But a lot of stuff, what we're not familiar with are their thoughts, their values, their traditions, because this is on the invisible part. And this is also what we, for ourselves, also need to kind of understand and explore. And this is a life journey. This is like a lotus flower. You would feel outside and you would go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you would have maybe a life lessons, like a test, whether you have understood it or not. And maybe the situation in life places you where you need to deal with a very difficult colleague at work, and then you would not master this life lesson, and then you would again go back and try to learn this. Self-awareness is also being understand of each other. Am I motivated because I want to have something, or just to have fun, just for my own sake? This is something that we really, this self-exploration, self-knowledge would take time, and this is really like a lifelong journey. And how I said that I can trigger some people, and people can trigger us. It is the family members can do it the best because they know us the best. And sometimes you may go into the family reunion and then you may explode because someone again said something at the table and you are like, wow. This is something that actually it's a good thing because triggers, it means that there is something that you could work on, and you can maybe then have a different situation at some point. But the fact that you are being triggered, it means that they again could touch upon your core belief. A core belief, if you know your core beliefs, it's a good thing because then you know what you can work on. And most of the core beliefs are all negative. For example, I'm all alone, I'm not enough, and so on. And there are a lot of psychologists, they have identified a lot of stuff. I am weak, I can't achieve anything, I'm powerless, I can't ask for help. There are a lot of stuff that we can work on, and that can be triggered. And with age, we become so proficient in keeping up with our negative core belief that we are playing this game instead of actually improving our version of ourselves. As an example, if I think that I'm not smart enough, I would always say, oh, this is so difficult, or I'm going to fail. And this is subconscious. I am not even, it's so automatic that I don't even realize that I'm saying it. But then if I pass the test, I would still just find justification and say, well, because it was easy. Otherwise, I wouldn't have passed the test. Then again, but if people would come, but you know how to repair the car, then again, I would say, well, who cannot repair the car? Like anyone can do this. Somebody else would say, but you taught yourself how to program. Then again, well, it was easy. So we find excuses to keep up and to have this negative core belief instead of actually dealing with this and trying to neutralize this. Yes, there's there Maslow. This is actually from him, from the Maslow pyramid of needs. He said, please keep looking, not for a person, but for your passion, your love, your courage, your goals, your dreams, your happiness, yourself. Keep looking. Explore yourself before you explore another. Know your worth, know yourself. Only when you know what you need over what you want, you will become a better version of yourself. And Charlie Chaplin is about self-love, because this is something that I would not understand. The concept of self-love, I could not understand. I would think that this is something egoistical. But Charlie Chaplin said that as I began to love myself, I understood that actually, if I freed myself of people or food or things or situations that are not good for me, this is what I call self-love. He first called this a healthy egoism, but now he calls it, or then he called it, love of oneself. And this is what we actually do. We usually compare each other to other people, but we, at some point, we just need to understand that I am okay and the other person is also okay and great, and let's live together and just enjoy one another presence. And of course, the transformation is painful. Because in the beginning you would just say no, you denial, you may be in a very negative, like anger and panicking and self-doubt, until you really go deeper, where you release everything and accept, letting go. This phase is very depressing. A lot of people would say, I am depressed and I never get out of it. Yes, they're at this bottom and they don't have this courage to go out. Actually, they have been through the worst part. Now would be actually the easiest one to experiment with the new and search for the new meaning. And that would be the transformation. But yes, there are a lot of people that are actually stuck at this stage 3. And what we all should do, and this is very practical, and you can do it all the time, expand your comfort zone. So if you are great at something, you're professional in this, you know everything in and out, you feel safe there, but you cannot grow there anymore because you know everything there. So my invitation for you would be to explore, to take something new, do something that you're not good at. And a lot of people are very creative at excuses. They can tell you why they cannot leave their comfort zone. But once you do it, it may be a time where it's really frustrating. But once you pass that stage, you are really a better and bigger version of yourself. Your comfort zone was just expanded. I have, so that's the presentation, Roy. I have some examples from me where actually with it was always trial and error. I read a lot of books and then I knew everything about the subject, and I would talk about the people, but it was only theory. It was never practical. So then I was actually urged to live this, to walk the talk, and to experiment with this. And there was a lot of, like 1 step forwards, 10 steps back, 1 step forwards, 20 steps back, and so on. And intuition is a very big step, and this is something that we all have, but in the media and everywhere it is more discredited. Ego and analytical thinking is high up, but intuition is something that we all have. Those are the 90% that I showed. And this is where we should actually focus on trying to be more, to understand those 90% that we have no clue of. And for me, when I was trying to listen to my little voice inside, it became more and more louder, this intuition, this voice. This can be, as an example, I would prepare for an exam, and I prepared slides and so on, and I was sure that this is what I was going to present. But then one day before the presentation at night, I kind of had this idea that I should do completely different, and I had those different ideas what I need to present, and I trusted this and presented the new idea, although I was not prepared. It was just a night before that came to me, and it was perfect. Otherwise, if I have prepared, or if I have shown the other slides, I would have failed my exam, because 90% of the students, they have exactly the same theme that I have originally prepared. Then there is also this example with love. If you chase someone, you most probably are rejected. But if you just release, if you let go, then the person suddenly is attracted to you and comes to you. So those are practicing intuition, practicing letting go is a big aspect. And sometimes we want to be in control of something. And if we have a good presentation, we just want to be in control of that. So we don't want to let go. But sometimes in the letting go, this is my idea. Sometimes even in the sprints, if I tried to control all the outcomes of the sprint, I was more frustrated than I just released, and I gave space for the developers, and the outcomes were much better than me trying to control everything. I had a lot of situations in my life where the letting go was practiced, where really I had to change apartments, deposit was not going on time. And this is what we also have in the companies, that sometimes there is time constraint, the feature is not coming on time, and so on. And for me, it was really, I did my best, what I could do, and then I would just release the situation. I would not think about this. And then it was always a benefit for me in releasing this. Yes. So my presentation is over. I am open